So I made one of these about a year ago for a family member. I liked it so much I decided to make one for my office. So obviously this is the Death Star. It's my version of the Death Star. This thing is going to hold, it's got 4 shelves and it's going to hold Funko Pops. Different Funko Pops from Star Wars or whatever I want to put on here. It could hold Legos if you wanted it to hold Legos, but we're going to hold these little Funko Pop figures. Obviously I don't have that many. We'll acquire some more later. Before we get into the build, this is made from a 2 by 4 foot section of 1/2 inch MDF. And then the shelves are made from just scrap plywood, 1/2 inch plywood that I had laying around my shop. I chose MDF as the main board because it's a little bit easier to cut with the jigsaw than actual plywood is. The backlight is an LED strip that's RGB strip lights. It's about 10 feet long. Picked it up from the L Word Big Store. Got it all from the L Word Big Store. Can I say Lowe's? It's Lowe's. It wasn't even a guess. And it came with this little handy dandy remote. We can change the color. There we go. It's not fancy. It's not going to like go to music or anything like that, but I can sit here and run through a whole bunch of different colors. Which one do you like? I'm not a purple guy. Kind of like that one. So let's get into the build.
So the only 2 items that you're going to need are some MDF and those little LED strip lights. And we're going to find the middle of this section of MDF and rip it down to an exact 2 by 2 section. And then I'm going to find the middle and put a nail in it so I can attach a string to that nail and make a circle to the best of my ability. But don't cut the circle out just yet. You're going to need to have those flat edges so you can draw all of your lines correctly. Besides drawing the lines that you're going to cut out with the jigsaw, I definitely recommend drawing the lines of where your cleat and your bottom support for the circle are going to go when you use the French cleat system against the wall to mount this. And you can see I'm using a picture that's on my phone as a reference, and I'm just drawing all the lines out of the cutouts that I'm going to have to make. And now the fun begins with all of the jigsaw cuts. This actually took me quite some time to cut out all of these shapes. I really don't have any words of advice here other than it's just going to take some time, and don't go fast, don't get in a hurry, and you'll do just fine. I literally had to take several breaks because my hand was cramping so bad doing this. Just embrace the suck. Eventually, you'll have all of your cuts made just in time to do some sanding. Yay, more hand cramping. To get those small, tight sections, I used a small square dowel with some sandpaper on the end and went to town. And then I used a 4-inch hole saw to cut out the circle that represents the super laser section on the Death Star. And once you have that done, you should have something that looks like this. Now it's time to attach the shelves. Each shelf is about 3.5 inches in depth, and I spaced them about 4.5 inches apart. I recommend dry fitting all the shelves first and seeing if you like it. And yeah, I used a Stormtrooper as my test model. Then using the smallest drill bit you can find, drill some holes right on those lines that you just marked, because in a minute you're going to come back around to the back side and use a brad nailer to secure the shelf to the base. Basically, I'm using the pilot holes as an alignment guide. And I forgot to mention this, but you definitely want to use glue on your plywood shelves. That will keep things nice and strong. And then you just repeat the process for every shelf. After I had all of the shelves mounted, I let it sit for about an hour to let the glue cure before I started painting. And I'm just using high gloss black paint, which on MDF won't come out glossy at all. And if you have a respirator, it's a good idea to put that on as well. Safety first, kids. And after the paint dries, it'll be time to install the LED strip lights. The type of strip lights I bought were really not the best type for this project. They had this thick, clear silicone coating made for outdoor use, and all you really need are the thin ones made for indoor use. I'm not sure that this is the best method of applying the strip lights. Maybe some small nails around the back surface that would act like a small post for the strip to hang on would have been a better method. Tell me what you think. But as you can see, I ended up stapling them to the board, which will hold them in place pretty well. And after thorough testing of the strip lights, the last step is to mount the French cleat and bottom support. And this will ensure that the Death Star sits off of the wall by 3/4 of an inch. I guess you could use a couple of different methods to hang it on the wall, but I want the light from the LED strip to really backlight the Death Star, so having it offset from the wall by 3/4 of an inch using a cleat was the best method. And to secure the cleat and the support block, I used glue and a 1-inch wood screw. And this small piece is what will mount on the wall in my office.
All right, so there you have it. You now are equipped with the knowledge to go out and build your very own Death Star Funko Pop shelving unit display thing. I'll see you in the next video.